Hey, what's up everybody? Hammer Heart Metal Reviews here once again. Today we're doing volume 3 in my series where I'm just going through some CDs from my collection that I feel are underrated. Either albums that are underrated in general, or maybe albums by bands where I think the band is underrated, or maybe the band is not that much underrated, but this album specifically is underrated in their discography. If you haven't seen volume 1 and 2 in my series, go check those out for some hidden gem albums. And to kind of get the whole spiel here, these are only albums that I actually own the copies of. I'm not just picking underrated albums from anywhere. These are just CDs that I actually have. So as per usual in this series, I'm just chose 5 discs to talk about today. So without further ado, I'm just gonna get right into this. So the first one that I have for you here today is Horn with Turm. So this album is their album from a few albums ago. If you've watched my channel, I'm sure you've heard me rave about their newest album quite a bit, Versit, which was from 2022. I had it as like my number 2 album from the year, but I don't want it to just sound like you should just focus on that album. Definitely go explore all of Horn's discography. There's so many hidden gems, and this one is one of my favorites by him as well. Just really awesome stuff. This is black metal from Germany, one-man band. Really, the whole discography is great. I picked Turm because it's just, I feel like it didn't necessarily get the same recognition as some of his other releases, such as Versit from last year, which is amazing, but this one is right on par with it. You've got the folky parts, you've got the epic pagan black metal. There's so much variation. I love the songwriting, I love the vocals, and look at that album art too. Like, come on, absolutely amazing. If you have not heard Horn, this album would be a good one to start with. Definitely go listen to the whole discography, but yeah, go check out this album. All right, up next, gonna switch it up completely and go with some melodic death metal with Kalmah and the album 12 Gauge. So Kalmah in general, probably not necessarily an underrated band. I mean, they're pretty well known in the melodic death metal genre. Maybe not as big as their contemporaries, even from their same country. Like a band like Children of Bodom is definitely a band they get compared to a lot. I think Kalmah is leaps and bounds better than a lot of melodic death metal bands out there. I would not say 12 Gauge is my favorite album by them. It's not. They have done some better albums, but I feel like this one gets kind of overlooked when people talk about Kalmah. It's always the early material or maybe the Black Waltz, but no one really mentions 12 Gauge, and this album actually rips. Like, it's fucking great. There's absolutely amazing songs on here. Rust Never Sleeps, One of Fail, Better Not to Tell, Bullets Are Blind. Like, fucking awesome song after awesome song on this album. So don't write it off because it's not one of their like most well-known or most appreciated albums. Everything this band has done, I am a fan of, and this one is no exception. So definitely go check out Kalmah if you haven't in general, and go check out 12 Gauge if you've not given this album a chance. All right, up next, we're gonna switch to some power metal with Kamelot and The Fourth Legacy. So Kamelot, obviously not an underrated band. This is probably one of the bigger names in like symphonic, progressive, power metal these days. To be honest, I haven't kept up with their whole career. I have not even heard all of their albums. There was a time when I really dug a lot of what they're putting out. They put out a string of like 3 or 4 albums in a row that were really top-notch stuff like Karma, Epica, and this one kind of started that run of albums, and I feel like it's a little bit overlooked compared to those other albums. So that's why I'm featuring it today on the underrated albums, because I feel like The Fourth Legacy doesn't really get the recognition that it should for being just a great fucking power metal album. You've got a little bit of everything on here. You've got songs like the title track, The Fourth Legacy, Desert Rain, Nights of Arabia, like those kind of tie together. Shadow of Uther has a great guitar part, and you've even got like ballads like Sailor Man's Hymn. Until Kingdom Come is great. Like, this whole album is just hit after hit. Absolutely amazing stuff here. Like I said, I haven't kept up with this band over the course of their career. I kind of lost interest after a little bit after Roy Khan left, their vocalist. I haven't really kept up with most of their recent albums, but I still go back to these 3 or 4 albums often enough. And this one, maybe, well, not my number 1 favorite by them. I feel like it's a bit overlooked, and definitely go give it a listen if you have not. All All right, up next, a band that I think is underrated, and also this is probably their most underrated album, and that is Angelcorpse with the album of Lucifer and Lightning. So Angelcorpse, I feel like, is a super underrated death metal band. It has a blackened edge to them. Really dirty sounding stuff, absolutely amazing. Their first 3 albums are the stuff of legends with like Hammer of God, Exterminate, and The Inexorable. Then they broke up, thought they were done, but they did reunite to put out this album, and this album seems to get some hate. Like, it's thought of as not on the same level as the other 3, and while maybe it is my least favorite of the 4, this is still fucking awesome. Like, this is heavy and crushing. The vocals are raspy, just how I like them. The drums are super fast. Like, Longstreth is amazing here, and like, these songs fucking kick ass. Super awesome album art there too. Got songs like Antichrist Vanguard, Saints of Blasphemy, Extermination Sworn. Like, go listen to Angelcorpse if you just want pummeling speed, in your face, blackened death metal. This is how it's done. This is the way it's done right. Definitely go check out their other albums as well, as, yeah, they probably are a little bit better than this one, but I'm talking about underrated albums, and I feel like this one gets some hate for no reason because it kicks fucking ass. That just leaves one more album today. Arguably, is this even underrated? I don't know. Maybe not. But I'm talking about Taake with the debut Nattestid Supporten Vid. So this here is the re-release that features the debut album Nattestid as well as their first demo, which I will probably mispronounce, Kolbranai Jesu Marg. So yeah, I had to get the re-release because I wanted that original demo as well. But yeah, is Taake underrated? Maybe not, but in some aspects, I think this project is. To me, this is one of the best second wave black metal projects out there. The first 3 albums are the stuff of legend. Like, bang for my buck, I don't know too many bands that put out 3 albums in a row that are as good as this. This is the debut, Nattestid, since all the songs part 1, part 2, up to part 7. Go listen to Nattestid Part 7 if you've never heard this band before. One of the best black metal songs ever fucking written, in my opinion. It's so goddamn good. The debut started it all. I think it got even better on the 2nd and 3rd album, but I went with the first album here just to kind of show it because this is the re-release, and I thought it's cool that it includes the demo as well. And just, yeah, it's a great place to start if you've never heard Taake. After the first 3 albums did start experimenting a bit more, bringing in some more progressive elements, but he's always just a riff machine here, Hoest. His vocals are so harsh and aggressive, and if you just want like pure second wave black metal, no one does it too much better than this. Like, I feel like he doesn't get mentioned in the same breath as a lot of the other big names in black metal from Norway, but Taake should, and if you haven't heard them, go check out this album. Awesome stuff. So anyways, these are just my thoughts and opinions as usual. These are just 5 albums from my collection today that I wanted to talk about. Let me know down below what you think of any of those 5 albums, and you can look forward to another edition in this next month. So until then, Kamelot Metal Reviews, out.